Hey everybody, welcome to week one of the class. So what I'm going to do every week, I'm going to post a checklist announcement, and then I'm also going to record a quick video that's going to let you know what's going to be due over the next week or so. As long as you will check this, keep up with your syllabus, look on the home page for the My Task, you're going to stay on track. You shouldn't be caught off guard about any assignments that are due or anything like that. And let me also say that they're not always going to be this long. This first part of the semester, there's a lot of really quick assignments. Most of these are going to take less than like 5 minutes to do. So don't let that scare you. It's not always going to be this many items that you've got to check off your checklist. All right. This semester is kind of weird because it starts on Friday, January 7th. Normal classes, like traditional in-person classes, don't meet until next week, starting Monday or Tuesday. But because this is online and because this is a mini and it's so fast-paced, we need to take advantage of any time we have. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you a bunch of assignments that you can get started on. Like I said, most of them are short. And if you don't get them finished until next week, that's okay. I pushed the due date back until most of these are due Sunday, January 16th. So you got some time. But if I were you, if you've got the time this weekend or today, go ahead and knock these out because we got some new stuff next week too. All right, so let's run through this real quick. First off, first thing you need to do is a pretest. This is not worth any points. It's just to see what you know about biology at the beginning of the semester. And good news, you're not supposed to know any of this yet. So this is a zero pressure test. I'm not even going to see how you did on the test. I'm just going to look at the class average for the questions. And then I'll compare that to how we do later on, and that'll kind of show our growth. This is just like data that we've got to collect that really doesn't affect you. You just need to take the pretest. You can go ahead and take that before you watch any of the lecture videos. All right. You can find that over in the exams tab to the left. There is an About Me survey that you can find in the quizzes tab to the left. So what you'll do for that is just open up the quizzes tab. It should be the very top item there. And you're just going to tell me some things about yourself. I'm trying to learn all of my students, not just traditional. I want to learn about you too. So if you'll give me that information, that'll help me learn a little bit about you, and I'll give you 5 points for it. So easy points at the beginning of the semester. There is a syllabus quiz. I know you can read all this, but if you'll go over to the top left, the tab that says syllabus, open up the syllabus, read through it, let me know if you got any questions. And then there's a quiz afterwards that's really simple. It's going to be things like, what's the date of our first exam? What book are we using? I think that's one. I might have changed that one. What resources can you use in the test? Here's your free answer. You can't use anything. You can't use notes or books or anything in the test. But it's going to be stuff that's covered in the syllabus. So again, 5 questions. That's going to be due the 16th. But go ahead and knock it out. That's a quick assignment that you can get out of the way. All right? Just a few more. There's a diversity project. There's a tab to the left that says diversity project. So if you click there, you'll see all the instructions. But you're going to read biographies of a couple different scientists. Once you have read those and you feel comfortable with the material, there is a 10-question quiz. And you can use the biographies while you're taking that quiz. Like I've had students print them off and highlight the important parts. So you can just like leave them pulled up on your computer. But you can use that information during the test or during the quiz. That's perfectly okay. It's worth 5 bonus points. What that means is when you take it, it's going to say you got a 0. But then I'll go back and I'll add those bonus points to your grade. All right? All right, so those are all really easy things you can do that shouldn't take too long. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the real material for this class, all right? I want you to go ahead, if you've got a chance this weekend, go ahead and watch Chapter 1 lecture video. Go over to the learning materials, and then Unit 1 is going to be all of the stuff that's on our first test. So open that Unit 1 folder, click on Chapter 1. You're going to see a PowerPoint that you can download. And I cover all this in the video, the lecture video, but you can print off the PowerPoint and take notes. And then you've got lecture videos you're going to watch that go along with that PowerPoint. This is as close as I can get to like if we were in a classroom, I would be up in the front of the room, PowerPoint projected on the screen, and I would lecture and you would take notes. We're doing that same thing, just using lecture videos instead. All right? So take your notes. Let me know if you have any questions. And then when you're done with Chapter 1, you've got a review quiz that, again, it's not due until next Sunday, but I would go ahead and get it out of the way. It's just going to be 5 questions that came from that chapter. All right. On the review quizzes, you can use your notes and PowerPoint and book and all that. That's perfectly okay. All right. You just cannot use them on a real test. The last 2 things that we're going to do, I promise they're not all this bad. Last two things we're going to do. Go over to the Labs tab, and if you haven't ordered your lab kit, I'm sorry for the amount of times I'm going to say this early on, but if you haven't ordered your lab kit, you need to order that like right now. Labs make up about 20 to 25% of your final grade in this class, and because this is an online class, we're not going to meet in person for lab. That means you have to buy the lab kit, which is going to have most of the material that you need to complete labs. All right. That lab kit can take a couple weeks to come in. So if you haven't ordered it yet, it's going to be kind of pushing it if it comes in time for the first lab. So order that as soon as possible. If you push it off and like you haven't ordered it in a month or so, you're going to be getting zeros for those assignments because you don't have a way to complete them. All right. So just watch that video. It's going to explain that. But order your lab kit. Once you've done all that, there are 2 prerequisite activities that you're going to need to complete. And these are really quick, but it's just one of them is how to use, there's a website called SI Cloud. That's going to be like our, instead of a lab book that you fill out, you're going to use this website to complete your labs. So the first one is just going to be instructions for how to enter information in the lab and how to use the lab. There's another one on lab safety, and you need to complete both of those this week or next week because those are prerequisites that you have to complete before the actual labs start later on. Okay? Now, finally, I promise, last one. Our first test is in a couple weeks. It's January 20th and 21st is when the first exam is going to be due. We are using Respondus Lockdown Browser, and I'm not a big fan of it either, and I know students aren't, but that's what we're going to use. It's the best thing we've got right now, just to make sure that you're actually doing the test, that you're not cheating, and just making sure that everyone's actually earning their grade in the class. So to make sure that we're all familiar with Respondus and we can use it and there's not any technical issues, and then honestly, more importantly, I want to make sure that you understand what you've got to do before the test. You're going to have to go through a sequence where you show your environment. Everything has to be cleared away, no notes, phones, anything like that around you. So we're going to do just a quick practice exam to make sure that you understand what you need to do for that, and that way we can work through any technical issues if we have them. So you're going to find that by clicking on the Exams tab. There's a folder that says Practice Exam. Open that folder up. There's another video that's going to walk you through how to install Respondus. If you've already installed it, skip over about halfway, and it's going to show you what you have to do when you're recording your environment. Once you've got all that squared away, you've got a really simple practice exam with questions like what year is it and what's the name of this college. You don't have to study for this exam. It's just a chance for me to review the videos and make sure that you didn't have any issues and that you know how to record your environment. In the video in the practice exam folder, I've got a sample video of like this is what it should look like when you record your environment. So watch that. Again, on any of these things, let me know if you have any questions. But that practice exam is due next Wednesday, January the 12th. That'll give me time to review everything and give you any feedback if I need to. Okay? Don't stop watching these videos just because this one was 8 minutes. I promise most of them are much shorter. There's just a lot that we had to cover this first week. All right, so go ahead and get started. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.